Today is the day after Sukkot. Day after Sukkot is also celebrated. It's an extension of the holiday. It's a day of joy. But in the middle of rejoicing the end of the holiday of Sukkot and the additional day called Isra Chag, we received the terrible news that not far from my home in Spot and near Meron, there was an autobus filled with children from Bnei Akiva that were on a Sukkot tour, and they crashed into an auto on the road on the way home. And a mother and 3 children died in this crash, and the driver of the autobus died. And the bus turned over 3 times with all those children in it, and there was also a lot of injured children amongst them. It's part of life to receive bad news. We don't like to receive bad news, but it's part of life. In this video, I want to discuss the reason why the Christians, especially the evangelists, are so much in love with Israel and the Jewish people, including amongst them the former president Donald Trump. Christians come on pilgrimages to Israel the whole year. There's some sort of attraction that Christians have to Jews. Sometimes this attraction becomes dangerous for Jews because Christians want to convert Jews to Christianity. But not all Christians are looking to convert Jews. They're basically interested to share with the Jewish people the Lord, their Messiah, they love so much. There are Jews who have fallen out of Judaism, and they are wandering in the world without a religion. And many of them become interested in Christianity, Jews for Jesus, and other types of Christianity. Very little that can be done to help these Jews maintain their Jewish heritage and connect to the Jewish religion, because they've fallen out of the Jewish religion. There was a Jewish Catholic priest that came from the Vatican to visit the Lubavitcher Rebbe. The Lubavitcher Rebbe on Sundays distributed dollars to crowds of people that came to him. He came to the Lubavitcher Rebbe and he said to the Lubavitcher Rebbe that I'm Jewish. The Lubavitcher Rebbe was not happy to see a Jew dressed in the uniform of a Catholic priest, a monk, who was living in the Vatican. And he usually received all people with a smile and a blessing. But with him, he was very, very closed. This priest, Catholic priest, Jewish, he told the Rebbe that he found the Messiah, and he came to the Rebbe with a book that he wrote on the Psalms of David. He was interested in sharing with the Rebbe his own life experience. The Rebbe did not think favorably that a Jew should convert or to Christianity. And he spoke to him very, very harshly. This particular person, he said to the Rebbe in defense of himself, "But I wasn't raised in an Orthodox Jewish home. I didn't go to synagogue. I wasn't taught the Jewish way." The Rebbe continued to show his disappointment in this person. He was very closed to this person, not interested in the Messiah that this Jewish person, had claimed that he was eternally happy that he had found this Messiah, this Messiah that was his Messiah. The Rebbe said to him, "There will be a greater Messiah than this Messiah." The Rebbe was not interested in reading the book that he wrote on Jesus and the Psalms. And the man left. He went back to the Vatican. He had received his rebuke. He was a good man, and he was even seen in a synagogue near the Vatican one day, putting on phylacteries in the morning. President Donald Trump sacrificed himself for the sake of the Jewish people and their safety in Israel. He moved the embassy over to Jerusalem. He gave recognition to the Jewish possession of Golan, Jews annexed the Golan, and he spoke about the right of the Jewish people to settle in the areas of Judah and Samaria. His son-in-law, as we know, was Jewish, and his daughter had converted to Judaism. His son-in-law was his representative in the Middle East to bring together the Arabs and Jews in the Abraham Accords, which is still going on today. President Trump his followers were evangelists. Evangelists love Israel and the Jewish people. It's life to them. It gives them greater faith in their Messiah. When they come to Israel and they see Jews and they see the Jews that are closed to the New Testament, that are continuing to serve God according to the Old Testament and have not received Jesus as their Messiah. The Jews are waiting still for the Messiah to come. These people, they tour Israel. There are Christian sites in Israel that they visit. They also visit the tomb of King David. King David to them is a holy man. They read his Psalms. They pray with his Psalms. They come to the tomb of King David and prostrate themselves at the tomb, crossing themselves and crying. They go to the Western Wall, where was the Holy Temple, and they pray there. They see it's connected to their Master and their Messiah, Jesus. The Jewish people are important to these evangelists. In our community, we have a soup kitchen that the Christian Brotherhood sponsors it. And it's written on the meals that they are sponsors of this soup kitchen, which is run by an Orthodox Jewish organization. Pope Francis has been very, very active in showing that he loves and cares for the Jewish people, that they are partners with Christians in the Bible. As we know, Christians have accepted the Old Testament, and with all the prophets, even those prophets which prophesied against Asa, it's still included in the Christian Bible. They studied the Talmud, and they studied the scriptures. They even helped to print the Talmud according to the way it's set up today, and they did number the pages in the Tanakh. It's very mystical. Why evangelists, they are so much in love with Jews who are anti-Christ. Jewish religion is anti-Christ. Jewish religion is anti-freedom. And Jesus is called the Messiah of freedom. And the Jewish sages, these are the Torah scholars, consider Christianity very dangerous to the Jewish people. And therefore, they try to the best of their ability to limit the contact between Christians and Jews in the Holy Land. And they prohibit proselytizing, missionary work being done in the Holy Land of Israel, which is under Jewish control. But there is freedom of religion in Israel, but not to be missionaries. But there's a deep secret involved in this obsession that Christians have to convert Jews to Christianity. It's sometimes a danger. In the times of the Crusades, if a Jew would not accept Christianity, could be put to death. Today, there's freedom of religion in the world and democracy. So this is today not accepted. There's also love that the Christians have for the Jewish people, which is something which is hard to understand because the Jewish people are anti-Christ, the Orthodox Jewish people. Unfortunately, the secular Jewish people have gone into atheism, and it's the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidism. He said that atheism is much more dangerous to Jews than Christianity. Today, unfortunately, there is a very, very strong secular atheist bloc in Israel. And they're part of the government today. But there's freedom in Israel, and a democracy. So we have to work along with everyone in the country. Everyone is entitled to have their own opinions in a democracy. And those people that have similar opinions become parties, like Sephardic Party, like Orthodox Ashkenazic Party, like Israel Religious Zionist Party, like Likud, and other parties in the government. What is going on? What is this attraction? It's love between evangelists, love of evangelists for Jews. And the Jews don't show very much love for them, but they're crazy about Jews, especially Orthodox Jews. And President Trump was crazy about Jews. And he was very happy that his daughter married a Jew. Maybe he'll run again in the next election, and maybe he'll win the next election. Let's go back to the story in the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were one. Male and female were one. And they were spiritually one. It was a spiritual connection between Adam and Eve. Adam being from the chest up, and Eve from the chest down. And together they were one, but they were united together, inseparable at that time. Like it says in the Torah, God created man, male and female. But later on, it says that a man should not be alone, so God made for man a soulmate. And he took the rib from Adam and he made the woman. They were one in the Garden of Eden. But God separated them, and what was revealed to Adam that Eve was a woman, and was revealed to Eve that Adam is a man. Were no longer one, but they were two. There was duality, two aspects of reality, male and female. And then it says, after the story of what happened with the snake and the tree, which I don't want to go into, but it says that Adam knew Eve. Before, they were one. Now they were two. And they had two children, Cain and Abel. And Cain was different than Abel. And there was jealousy between them. And Cain killed Abel. There's jealousy between man and between children of man. The world became populated, but now the woman became the powerful figure in the world after the sin of the eating from the tree of life. The woman is the earth, and all of life is connected to earth. And in earth there is pleasure for man. It's a physical world. And the mother is the center of the home. Man is connected to heaven, and woman is connected to earth. This is the way it became. In the Garden of Eden, they were one, male and female, inseparable. And then with the sin, there became duality. The woman became the center, foundation of the home. And man, it says in the Proverbs, the woman is in the home, and the man is known in the gates. The man can fly spiritually, but the woman stays in the home. She watches over the family. The man goes out and makes a living, and he brings the food to the home, to the woman. There is, just like there was jealousy between Cain and Abel, that Cain brought an offering put an offering on the altar in Abel, and God favored the offering of Abel. So there is a power struggle between man and woman, husband and wife. It says there on the fourth day that God created the luminaries in the heaven. And it says that the sun and the moon were both on the same level at that time. Both were luminaries, but the moon stepped down. So it became the light, sun became the source of the light, and the moon became the receiver of the light. So it is that in marriage, the woman has her role in the family, and the man has his role. It's male and female in the family, and the children are born boy and girl. Now, at Mount Sinai, the Torah was given to the Jewish people. Moses was the fourth of the prophets of the Jewish people. First came Abraham, then came Isaac, then came Jacob, then came Moses. We know that the name of God, which is his holy name, which is the attribute of mercy, has 4 letters. And Moses brought down from heaven the unity of God on earth at Mount Sinai. Now, after he had brought down this unity of male and female, just like it was in the time of the garden, when man and woman were one in the Garden of Eden. This was the revelation of the divine unity. Something happened there. Moses intended to reveal the universal faith at that time. Universal faith unites the male and female attributes of God. But his brother Aaron interfered, and Moses came down with tablets. He broke these tablets with the 10 Commandments, the first ones. He was very unhappy about it, but he had to do it. And then, due to the sin of the eating from the building of the golden calf, the world became split up again between male and female consciousness. This is discussed in the Zohar, in the books of the Arizal, in Hasidus. Male and female are one in the unity of God. But they became separated again, just like they were when they left the Garden of Eden, in the physical aspect, and also Cain and Abel were 2 different consciousnesses. One was national, the other was universal. So it was now that the Jewish people became divided between universal and national Jews. The universal Jews were called the men and people of the wilderness. They were connected to Moses. They never went into Israel. The national Jews established the national religion of Israel. Moses gave them the law, and they went into Israel, and they conquered the land and built the temple. National is the feminine aspect of spirituality, and in the people of the generation of the wilderness, they were into the aspect of spirituality of heaven, the universal aspect of spirituality. They weren't suitable to take on, to change. They couldn't change. Only two of these prophets, they were all prophets at that time in the wilderness of that generation, and two of them, these prophets, were accepted to change. That was Joshua, who led the Jewish people into Israel, and Caleb. The other prophets, they died in the wilderness. But there were two levels of spirituality, male and female. Male is spirituality connecting to heaven, and female spirituality connected to earth, which is basically religion. Religion being national, because religion supports the family structure and having children and raising them properly to be moral and live righteously. This applies to Judaism, it applies to Christianity, and it applies to Islam, that aspect of national. But Christianity was unique. Judaism, the law of Moses that was given to the Jewish people, which is called the oral law, was completely national. It was against universal, against that spirituality connecting to heaven. The Jewish law teaches to connect to God through doing mitzvot, action, prayer and action, and learning the law. In the theocracy of the biblical nation of Israel, there was no freedom, spiritual freedom. The only freedom was the freedom to learn the Torah and to follow the commandments. It was an obligation, and there was a sword over their head that if they don't do it, they could be punished. They would be given lashes, or they could be given even put to death. Jewish people, even till today, follow the oral law. In the written law, Moses placed the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and in there is the story how he broke the tablets, and there's many deep secrets in the Torah, how Moses came after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the fourth of the prophets, and it says there how Moses had a special prophecy level of spirituality that the Abraham and Isaac and Jacob didn't have. He had the universal faith and national faith, both in his in his curriculum, while the fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they were almost completely national. So Jacob did come to a revelation of the universal faith in one of the chapters of the Torah when he met Esau, and God gave him the name Israel. Israel being the name of the universal faith. But Jacob was the father of 12 children, and his children basically were national. He was teaching them the way of national Jewish religion, and they had one of the brothers, Joseph. He was universal, and they felt an individual, and there was friction between them. So much so they tried to put him. They thought to kill him, and there's a whole story how Joseph forgave them in the end. Because the universal faith is principally the faith of mercy. So Joseph had mercy on his brothers. Now, the biblical nation of Israel held up 400 years with the Holy Temple. Then it was destroyed by the Babylonians. After it was then 70 years they spent in Babylon. A small portion went to Egypt, and very few in Israel at that time, but they returned, and they were helped by the non-Jewish, non-Jews at that time, Herod, and they were able to give him the permission to return to the land to build the temple. They built the second temple, which lasted for 400 years. Judaism as a national religion. It continued the way it had been at the time of Joshua. But Adam and Eve, they were one at one time, and then it said Adam knew Eve. Adam knew that Eve was different than him. She was female and he was male. He was Mars and she was Venus. But they had a connection because there are between them, which is physical love, natural love. There's also spiritual love. In spiritual love, there is unity between male and female. In natural love, each one is a separate entity. The sun and the moon, the sun is the source of light, the moon receives the light. The man is the breadwinner and the woman is the foundation of the home. In religion, it comes down to two levels of consciousness: national religion and universal. But universal already was completely suppressed. Moses had to break the tablets. So then there was only national. The nation of Israel was only national. Universal was suppressed. But universal is connected to freedom, and freedom will not allow itself to be suppressed. It has to be free, and it has to be revealed. And there it was revealed by the prophets of Israel. And they were persecuted for revealing it. And then it was revealed by the Messiah of freedom, which became Christianity. The aspect of male spirituality connecting to heaven and resurrection, and still existed in the world. The aspect of the spirituality of earth, national. Christian also made their own law and their own nation. So there were two aspects in Christianity. One, the priest, Catholic priests living in monasteries, and the other, the family man. Later on, for Martin Luther, they rebelled to make it only one, that is the family man. They no longer were Protestant. They didn't have monasteries anymore. Islam is a national religion. But Christianity connects to the Messiah of freedom. Now, the two sides of spirituality cannot exist separate and alone. They need to be united again. And that's the essence of spirituality, which was when Adam and Eve were one and united. They were one divine unity. And it was that level of divine unity at Mount Sinai, which became interrupted by the sin of the golden calf. So Christians took one side, and Jews and Islamics took the other side, universal and national. Christians have this masculine aspect of spirituality connected to freedom, and they always want to give it to everyone else. That's why they're the biggest missionaries. They want everyone to have it. They want everyone to have freedom. And they come to Israel, to the place which is Antichrist. And they go to the tomb of King David, who was Antichrist. He was the king of Israel. And Israel was a dictatorship. There was no freedom. Christianity needs to do missionary. They need to connect with the Antichrist. Through that, they are elevated to a higher level. Jewish leaders feel it's very dangerous. It's very well known. And even recently, Pope Francis made a statement how the Jewish people today need Jesus because the world has changed. And before, maybe they were able to exist completely national, but today they also need universal. He was attacked for saying that because the Lubavitcher rabbi does not need anything. He's a complete soul, and he's national. Messiah, the son of David. King David was national. If they had knowledge of universal, but their essence was in the national connection of spirituality with the earth. They were married men. King David was married. He was allowed up to 18 wives. King Solomon had 1,000 wives. Far from being a Catholic priest on a monastery. But the Catholic priests are there to prove that a man can be celibate. And Adam, we are taught in the Kabbalah that he didn't want natural pleasure, which comes through sex, produces children. And the angels had to beat him in order to get him to agree to have sex with Eve, to know Eve, and to start to populate the world. Adam could have been celibate, but it wasn't God's will. Now there are 50,000 priests, Catholic priests. It shows that a man can do without a woman. Not every man, not for everyone. I tried it and it didn't work for me. Now I'm older, it's even still hard for me. Christians need Jews, even though Jews are anti-Christ. Through connecting to Jews and through love of Jews, and they want the best for Jews. They want Jews to believe in their Messiah, and they become they reach a deeper connection with the Messiah in this way. And I'm going to show you an example. I did work in spiritual healing for emotional problems for 15 years. And I invented a machine which was revolving mirrors, which were interaction of two mirrors, could produce a light that would neutralize negative thoughts. I patented it in America, I patented it in Israel, I used it in my clinic. There, in this machine, there was a passive mirror and an active mirror. The active mirror revolved very quickly. It was a prism. And the passive mirror went very slowly. Male is the active mirror, and female is the passive mirror. When you put them together, they produce a light that neutralizes negative thoughts, heals the soul. This is called the light of the Messiah. The light of the Messiah is the light of the unity of the aspects of male and female. There is the Messiah, the son of Joseph, the aspect of male, heaven, and there's the Messiah, the son of David, the aspect of earth, which is female. A person is in a state of mind of depression. He needs the Messiah. Religions can give this person the Messiah. But religion can't give the aspect of the Messiah which can be given by the universal faith, because the universal faith combines in it male and female. The male aspect of the I and the female aspect of the I. It's all in the I. As we say, we know in yoga they teach about a third eye. The third eye unites the two eyes together. So these are the two aspects of religion, which is Christianity and Judaism. Christianity is masculine. It has in it masculine, that the Messiah is the Messiah of freedom. Judaism has in it feminine, the Messiah of earth, which has been revealed by the Lubavitcher Rabbi in the last generation, though it's basically only accepted by certain of his followers. But it has been revealed. That is the feminine aspect of the Messiah. The male aspect of the Messiah is revealed through resurrection. The female aspect of Messiah is revealed through hard work and similar to that light of God that was revealed by Elijah when he went up into heaven. He didn't die. Well, in resurrection, there's death and then there's rebirth. So we have now to understand, Christians want this to get elevated, and they're hungry to take Jews and to missionize them and convert them. In my clinic, I have made these glasses. Some mirrored glasses on the outside. I put them on, my clients, they put these glasses on. And they looked in the mirror, like I'm looking now at the camera on my computer. You see, if I will be focused on my own image, I will see that I'm creating an infinite light between the mirror that's on my eyes, an active mirror, and I'm looking in a mirror on the wall. The active mirror are the evangelists. They want to proselytize and change people over to bring them to the light of their Messiah. The Jewish people are the Antichrist. They are the mirror on the wall. And they go out to missionary and they're getting stimulated by infinite light, like the infinite light that exists between the mirror that I'm wearing, the glasses, and the computer. So now we can understand why the Christians are hungry and crazy and obsessed by Jews. They're giving to my soup kitchen. President Trump, he did whatever, his whole soul was to help Jews. Christians need Jews. The question is, in Pope Francis, his recent statement, he said Jews need Christians today. The world's getting difficult to be without the Messiah. The Jews have been without the Messiah. Only now has been revealed a little spark of the Messiah in the Lubavitch community. Life goes on. Religion is interested in sexual purity, first. It comes before esoteric studies. It comes before Kabbalah. That's the law, study of the law. Even the Christians, they wrote a law book. I never looked at it. I'm not interested in it. But that's how they made Christianity into a religion. Jesus was the Messiah of freedom. He was against religion at that time. But they turned the Messiah of freedom into a religion. Judaism is national. Christianity has a universal and national. Christians need the Antichrist. They need to create the infinite, connect to the two messiahs together. And the Jews need to connect the two messiahs together. And the connection of the two messiahs together is the universal faith, which is being revealed today through the resurrection of Moses. It's part of the Torah. It's always been part of the Torah. The light of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden they were both one. They became separate, and we unite them together again through the universal faith. But we are still in religion because we still need pleasure, spiritual love, and we have to continue to be fruitful and multiply, and we fight against darkness, and we fight against war, and we work for peace, the peace of God, the peace of the Messiah, and the peace which the prophet said that there should be peace in this world. The whole world will know God and will know the Messiah, and then there'll be peace. Amen.